My back wheel just sort of gave. The traction control came on saying failed.
Well, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks very much for watching, if you are a returning subscriber especially. Today you join me and I'm going to show off the GS's replacement, which is a temporary replacement. Anyone who follows my channel knows I go through quite a few BMWs on long-term loans, but this one is the latest and greatest long-term loan. So if that interests you, stick around and we'll get into it. So the eagle-eyed of you would probably know exactly what bike this is, and I reckon the majority are probably right. But it is a 2024 BMW S1000R in, I believe the colour is called Bluestone Grey Metallic. It could be called something else, but it's like blue something metallic. And this is, yeah, mine for the next 5 months or so. So when I picked this up, it has 0 miles on the clock, or it had about maybe 7, I think. It's fresh out of the crate, basically, from BMW Motorrad, which is in Berlin. So straight over from Berlin to Southampton and then to me. And this thing is a great little bike. I chose it because I wanted a sports naked. I just wanted to try it out. I did really fancy the M, and I still fancy the M, so maybe, just maybe, the next bike will be an M. We'll see how I feel. But this bike I was interested to get because I know a couple of people that have an M1000R, and essentially they want to swap it for this. And I said, why on earth would you want to swap it for this? It's, you know, the M is 210 horsepower and this is 160 and blah 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 blah. And they said exactly that. It's 210 horsepower that I never use, therefore this is more usable, you have more fun. And there is something to be said for a more usable bike that you can actually like drag around a little bit, you know. And this is probably the ideal horsepower for that. Now when you get a BMW S1000R or a RR or an M1000R and RR, the first 450 miles I believe are restricted. That is to save the engine and run it in properly and stop you scallywags from absolutely ragging it to death in the first few hundred miles. If you're not that mechanically not minded, but not that mechanically sympathetic, let's say. So I've done a review on the S1000R before, and it was exactly the same situation as this one, where it was restricted. So this is restricted. I'm currently restricted to 8,000 RPM. I can't go any further. It's like hitting a brick wall, and that is, it's a very frustrating point to have a restriction. It's right as the power starts to kick in. Now I'm not going to do a full-on comprehensive review of this bike today. I've already done that. What I'll do is I'll live with this bike for a while, and then I will be able to then work out a true review, owner's review you could say, because it's all well and good owning a bike or having a bike for a day or a weekend. You can basically sort of get the gist of how it rides, if it's good, if it's bad, maybe a couple of things you don't like about it, etc. But the true reviews are when someone has a bike. Oh my god, that's a massive pheasant. Are when someone has a bike for a long time and they can really tell you the niggles. That's why like really comprehensive magazines and, you know, like MTN, they have long-term loan bikes for about 6 months. I think it's something like that. It's quite a lot of months anyway to get a true idea of what this bike's like. So I'm trying to get some miles on this bike to get that first service, because that's when it's de-restricted. It's the first service. You can service the bike, I believe it's 500 miles, and or is it 600? No, it's a 600 mile service, but you can do it 150 miles either way. So as soon as it hits or gets near 450, they will service it for you and take off all the restrictions and stuff, and you can ride it to your heart's content. I'll get off this bike anyway, I'll pull over, I'll give you a little bit of a walk around and show you what it's about. I think it's a great looking bike. I've never been a fan of the front headlight personally. I think they could maybe design it a little bit differently, but yeah, I like it. The overall looks to the side profile of the bike is lovely, really nice. And it does pick up quick. Obviously the main difference from this bike and the M1000R as well as the RRs is that the this doesn't have the valve technology, shift cam technology, which those engines do have if you buy the R and the RRs. They all have 210 horsepower. Even the S1000R has that technology, and that has 210 horsepower, or 209 thereabouts. This doesn't have that, so it is down on power compared to those bikes, but if you've ever ridden one of those bikes, they are truly insane. Like, you don't need that power, to be honest. It's just nice to sort of have, and in a way I kind of like it, but it's not really the most necessary amount of power. That's a great little pull-in area. I think I'm going to pull in there. Let's do a UE. I don't know what this symbol means, this little like plug symbol. Do like the I really like the blipper on this bike and the general ease of use of it. It's a really nice, easy to use bike, unless you're doing an upshift from first to second and you're not truly on it and it will jerk, horribly jerky. Let's pull in at Goodwood Administration Office. No one's here. There is a car there, but oh well. Let's just put in here for a sec. Wait. I do find the stand quite small as well. Right, I think we're right. Still has that new bike smell. It smells lovely. Right, let's show you this thing. Still on. Good. Here it is. Ta-da! You can see I've got chicken strips that are huge. To be honest, I've been in the pure rain the whole time I've had this bike so far. It's been rather wet the last couple of days, so I've not really got a chance to ride it properly, apart from today. Today's the first dry day I've had it. But yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Steering damper, the standard, nice golden forks. I'm not going to go into a comprehensive review like I said, but yeah, Brembos, very nice. Brakes are really good. This one's got a passenger pack on it, dynamic pack, comfort pack, standard exhaust. But the exhaust is, as you can imagine, on a brand new bike, it's tiny. It's very quiet. But yeah, it's a great looking machine, isn't it? I like it. Looks really aggressive, really sporty. Let's get on it and ride it somewhere. Oh, so hot. Out of breath already. I've been trying to work out if Dynamic and Dynamic Pro and all that jazz change the exhaust note. It definitely has a butterfly valve on it, but I'm not entirely sure it does anything. I don't want to go that way. Got a short shift everywhere. Yeah, look at the blipper. Lovely. Even pops. For a standard exhaust, it sounds alright. Especially when you start opening it up. And I imagine once you get past that restriction, it's going to sound lovely. But yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in to my latest videos on the GS and the GS journey and how that all went down. I got a lot of engagement from everyone on that, and I really appreciate all the comments, even the comments saying sorry for your loss. You know, it doesn't matter too much. A bike, it's just metal at the end of the day. Some bikes are obviously more than metal to a lot of us bikers, but the GS, I didn't have really any connection to it. Just, you know, I had it for a short time, and I got it just for a tour, so I hadn't done much bonding with it, let's say, but I did like it. And it's a shame it's gone to some scummy little person or group in the middle of France, and like a lot of people have commented, it does seem a little bit suspicious that myself and another YouTuber called Two Wheel Dreamer had his stolen as well at the same time. And it is suspicious. It is not right. Let's go in here, Puncher City. We get a nice shot there. The suspension is tough. It's tough. Anyway, I was distracted by that GS, but yeah. I was just saying thanks to everyone. It was nice, the response I got. Lots of advice and lots of people saying, oh, use this use this security and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks very much. I do really appreciate it. And then for everyone who subscribed, I also really appreciate that. My channel is growing slowly and nicely, so hopefully we'll get there one day. Oh, there we go. That's in mud, but let's just risk it. Let's get a nice photo, shall we? You can listen to my heavy breathing for a minute. Is this a good shot? Yes. Oh, just got the eye for it, haven't I? That is a shot. You bastard. But yes, guys, I just wanted to show you the new bike, really. That's all this video is about. Any requests, any questions you have about this bike, I have it for a while, so ping them down in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. But yeah, I like it so far. But I'm going to give a nice comprehensive review, like an owner's review, when I can properly review it. It's cold today. But yeah, winter is definitely on its way. I have put a quad lock on here really badly. I just needed it on there for a minute. What is that? I mean, all BMWs are relatively the same. Like the basics. Like the riding mode's on this, exactly the same as my GS. Which is exactly the same as every other BMW pretty much. I do need to ride some of the bigger stuff. Let's see what that's like. Like a K1600 or an R18 bagger. That would be interesting. Look at this nice road. Lovely day. Cold day, but a lovely day. But yeah, maybe you're in the market for an S1000R. And yeah, sure, ping me a message if you want to know anything about the thing. It's pretty nice. I like the, there's obviously a ton of options you can get on this bike. And have a look at the BMW configurator and build one. As soon as you start putting stuff on it, it does add up quite quick. For example, in the M1000R, the carbon package, the M carbon package, or M, I don't know what it's actually called, but M something package, M performance pack maybe, that's a £5 optional extra. Nuts. Does make a nice difference though, we'll say that. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, I've had a bit of bloody bad luck lately, I would say. I've had, bike got nicked originally, then my MT10 basically pooed itself in the middle of France. Stay there. And then I crashed my 2-month-old drone, which I absolutely paid out of my bum for, into the floor, into the concrete ground. I was playing around with my friend's dog, just, you know, I was being a muppet. It's my own fault again. That is hopefully not a pheasant, no, it's a pigeon. And yeah, I didn't see an electrical wire, blade just touched it, and then I just saw the drone go bang to the ground. So I'm very fortunate that I took out DJI Care Refresh, and essentially I paid 60 quid, and a whole new drone is just mailed to you. As soon as they receive your damaged drone, they mail a brand new one to you. So honestly, great service. I don't quite have the confidence in it yet than I do with my MT10. Like my MT10, I'll, you know, throw it into a corner, hang off the bike, but I don't quite have that with this bike just yet. I don't know if that's whether I'm getting used to it or I don't know. I jumped on a Gixxer 600 at S1000R and, you know, it was pretty quick, feeling great on it. Like, you know, I was a bit worried about not feeling too good on that bike, but it was instant. This one, I'm not quite used to it yet. I don't know why. But yeah, anyway guys, thanks very much for watching. As I said, any questions, pop them down below. I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao for now.
What is up, guys? So you have probably just watched the video where I revealed to you that I've just got an S1000R, which replaced the stolen GS that I had stolen when I was in France on a French road trip back in July, I think I was. The current date is, I think it's the 30th of September today. Since my GS was stolen, my MT10 blew up. Got a bit of flack for ragging my MT10, but I bought it to use it like that, so I don't care. My misfortune did, however, continue. Some of you will be glad to hear. I was riding my S1000R yesterday. and going around a roundabout, there was mud, or not mud, it was like this chalky substance on the road. It was white. I'll put up a video in the corner here and some pictures, and you can see the state of the roundabout. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I've ridden through worse like a million times, but I was going around this roundabout. The back wheel just went. I wasn't doing anything particularly bad. I wasn't going really fast. What I didn't really see was there was an obvious bit of mud, which you'll see in the photos. It's very white. I avoided that. But what I didn't notice as I was going around the roundabout, and I think it was due to the sun and hitting the pavement, hitting the concrete, was that the dirt actually was across the whole roundabout. It wasn't just where I could see the obvious point of danger. It was across the whole roundabout. There's this fine film of, I still don't know what it is. It's like chalk. And I hit, my back wheel just sort of gave. The traction control came on saying failed, warning, failed. And I felt the back end go, couldn't stop it. So I low-sided and skidded. I was only doing like 15, 20 miles an hour. It wasn't anything fast. But I low-sided and skidded to a halt. 4-day-old S1000R. You can imagine my embarrassment. But yeah, that happened, and this sort of thing, these things happen to all of us. I've had lots of people reach out to me asking me if I'm all good, if you follow me on Instagram. So yeah, thank you to everyone that's reached out and said how are you and stuff like that, because I shared a story of my arm was all torn up. I was wearing a RST hoodie and all my gear. So luckily the gear that I had was all good. My helmet didn't touch the ground, thank God. Imagine buying a new helmet, because that is the worst thing ever. But I avoided that. All my gear's fine, apart from my hoodie was ripped up. It went straight through the Kevlar, which I was quite surprised at. I'm still not 100% sure if a hoodie should stop the road actually like wearing through the whole thing into your skin. I was quite surprised that it wore through to my elbow, because the only part of me that you could say was injured was obviously my shoulder hit the ground, which was giving me a sore arm, like really dead arm, and my elbow obviously ground through onto the concrete, and I wasn't sliding for very long. If I'd had leathers on, I would have had no skin damage whatsoever, but I don't know why the hoodie wore through. I need to look into it, but I'm going to look into what I do, essentially. But I think this would be a good lesson for not only myself, but for anyone that follows my channel. If you do become a cropper to mud on the road, at a building site, or something like that, you can follow my journey as to what happens, because it really pisses me off that a building site has not cleaned up their chalk on the road. And motorcyclists, not only me, but someone else might have crashed on that roundabout for all I know. Someone else has come off and it's screwed up their nice bike, them potentially. So yeah, I'm gonna look into what I can do about that legally. I don't know if it's the Highways Agency. I don't think it is. I think it's actually the whoever's responsible for the site is the people who you would actually be suing. But I'm not an expert, guys. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Hence why I need advice. So I've contacted a solicitor specialist in motorcycle claims. I've contacted them first. It depends how I'm going to do this, because some solicitors you have to pay up front, like a fee, and I'm not really interested in that. I can't imagine the chances of winning. I imagine are low. I don't know, and I imagine if I do get a payout, it's not going to be much anyway. So I want a no win no fee deal, and we'll go from there. I've got the most important things you can do, I believe, are document the accident site, which I've done. So I've got video. You can quite clearly see that the site is closed and the mud remained, or the chalk and substance remained across the entire roundabout. They haven't swept it, and therefore they're liable if someone crashes and damages a bike or whatever. Luckily my bike is a company bike, so I can, you know, give that back. It doesn't affect my insurance and stuff like that. It is annoying, don't get me wrong, like I love having company bikes and sharing them with YouTube and showing, you know, I basically get all these nice new BMWs all the time, and I'm definitely grateful for it, you know, even if they get stolen and even if I crash them. But it is annoying, so I feel obliged to follow this up and hold the people account. I'm not saying it's all their fault, don't get me wrong, like if I poodled around at about 5 miles an hour, it might not have been a problem, but I shouldn't really have to. I should be able to use the roads safely. And yeah, I mean, maybe it's partly my fault for not being careful enough, but it's definitely not all my fault. So my ego's already bruised as it is, you know. I should have, you know, coming off at 20 mile an hour around a roundabout or 15 mile an hour is not a good feeling. It sucks. And I've had people reach out to me saying that they've low-sided due to cold tires and stuff like this, and it's affected their confidence and stuff like that. And, you know, I do feel for you guys. Like, I've had it before. Anyone that's followed me for a while now knows that I've my first ever bike that I did up was a GSX-R 600 S-Rad. I loved it. Bought it when I was like 16, 17. Didn't even have a license. My grandma's neighbour had it. He crashed it, went underneath a car. His wife then banned him from bikes. So he said to me, "Oh, you can have my GXR 600 for £400 and I'll throw in all my leathers," which were Joe Rocket leathers. Stiff as old boots they were. But I took it. They were too big for me and everything, but I took it. And I bit off way more than I could chew. I've got no mechanical knowledge at this point. But I did my reading. I got this bike and did it all up. It wasn't the perfect thing, but I learned to ride on it basically. My first big bike, and I loved it. Got my knee down on it and everything first time. And then one day I just was coming around a roundabout and another roundabout. And as I was looking to the right to see the traffic that was coming on the roundabout, because it's a roundabout that you can generally just keep going. It's quite easy to see. I was looking to the right, and as I went round the left, I saw this like dark line exactly where I was, exactly on the centre of the road. And I thought, oil, diesel, and then in my head I went, shit, bang, and I was sliding along the ground for quite a while. It was a way worse crash than one I had yesterday. So yes, stay tuned for what happens. I'll update you guys. I'm currently bikeless because I have an MT10 which is still in France somewhere. Just to give you guys a brief update, if you do follow my channel, that MT10 had an engine issue. A lot of people were saying to me, "Why did you start it? It was making loud noises, or your mechanical sympathy is not there." It's like, I was in the middle of nowhere and there was a town about 2 miles away. My friends were pushing me and I thought the engine was gone. I knew I was going home, and I thought, if this engine runs enough so I can just get up to speed to help them push me 4 miles down the road, I'm going to use it. So people can criticise me all they like, but it's my bike. I can ride it how I like, especially if I want to bounce a bike off the rev limiter. People are literally saying to me, "Can't believe you put the bike on the rev limiter." It's like, ride the bike, man. It's a performance bike. It can hack it. I know what these things are capable of and what they're designed to do. Yes, it went bang, well, not bang, but yes, something failed in it, but that can happen on any engine at any time. Trust me. I really appreciate all the concern that everyone's reached out to me. I do still have my project TL1000, which is probably the most likely bike I'm going to have on the road soon, even though I was intending on selling it straight away. My MT10 is on the way back. I had to go through the breakdown cover and my insurance just to say, because I had European cover just in case anything went wrong. I made a claim for my flight home and all that sort of stuff, and they told me that it was going to take them a month essentially to... I'll rewind. What happens is, when your bike breaks down at the side of the road, an assessor will come out, look at it, see if it's repairable. If it's not, i.e. if it was a puncture, it'd be easy. If it's not, like mine, it wasn't easy. They take it away to a garage, a professional garage. They look at the bike. They'll give you a quote to repair it. and diagnose it. If you want to take that quote, that's fine. Then you can just pick up the bike once it's repaired and be on your merry way. I wasn't in the situation where I thought it would be repaired. I knew they weren't going to repair it. I wasn't going to pay them to repair it. And no offence to anyone in France, but I'm not trusting a French garage to do the work on my bike. I have my own mechanics who I trust, and they're the only ones that I want to work on my bike. So they rang me up and said, oh, we need to plug it in to get a diagnosis. Part of the process. We need to read the codes. I said, there's no point in reading the codes. I could listen to it. It's done. It needs major engine work. Like, it needs a cam chain, or it needs a big end, or it needs, the valves dropped, or something big has happened. It needs to come back. I'm not waiting a month for you just to plug it in to tell me that. And they agreed, and they started the process of getting it back. So the bike is on its way back. I signed a bit of paperwork. Hopefully I'll see that within the next 10 to 20 days. I have a tracker on that bike, so I know exactly where it is. Didn't have one on the GS because, if anyone has seen that video, it was a company bike, so I'm not allowed to touch it really in any way. So I couldn't add stuff to it like trackers. I wasn't naive and, didn't put a tracker on a £20,000 bike. I wasn't allowed to. It did have a disc lock on it, but that's literally all I can put on it. I still have my S1000R, it's outside, but it's damaged and it needs to be taken away to be assessed for the repair. I have a feeling that bike won't be seen again because the frame is scratched, which is really frustrating. I know that bikes get written off for frames scratches, so it's like the tiniest scratch, but I don't think they can repair it, so it might be written off. I don't know. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So I do really appreciate everyone tuning in to send me their best and, ask about what's going on, and also giving me advice on all sorts of stuff. Like, I've had lots of positive reaction in especially my last 3 videos, many thousands of views and many hundreds of comments. So I really appreciate the comments. It's not something I'm really used to on YouTube, but my channel is slowly growing. I will do a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I was meant to do one on the 1,000, so I'll make up for it on the 2,000. When I figure out how to do a giveaway, because it's not something I've done before either. But yeah, I really appreciate it, everyone. Stay tuned for a bit more. I've got a couple of videos that I can release, and then it's probably back to the Project TL to get that finished off, because let's face it, I'm not riding anything around, am I? So yeah, thanks very much for staying with me. Appreciate the support. Ride safely out there, be careful, especially now we're going into winter, and see you on the next one. Ciao for now.